Hello and welcome to episode 45 of the No Excuses podcast. My name's Anne and I live in the middle of Worcestershire with my hubby and our dog. Today is Monday the 19th of September and today has been the funeral of our former Queen, Elizabeth, which I've watched most of the proceedings this morning and I've got a little bit more to catch up on after I've recorded this. But I wanted to do this today. I meant to do it at the weekend, but I've been a bit tired and busy with a certain jumper, which I'll show you in a minute. Why does everything take much longer than you think it's going to? I don't know. So here we are, Monday. No excuses, remember. Like we mean it. I'm hoping I'm going to talk through this, right, and I'm hoping that A, my battery lasts, and B, I'm in focus and I'm not wibbly wobbly, but we're going to have a go with it. This is using my new old GoPro camera. So yeah, let's hope you can hear and see me okay. Quick introduction. We have got two make-alongs going on in this group at the moment, in this podcast group. The first one is a bob along, which finishes at the end of next week, at the end of September, and that will that is anything, you can put anything in there, but if it's got a bobble or scraps made from scraps, you have an extra entry. And the second one, which will probably close towards probably November, is a something new in 22. And for both of those, they're a full giveaway, a full mount. So I will make a bag and there'll be yarn as a surprise as well, with a couple of other bits and pieces. And if you want to enter any of those, or contact me actually, you can use Ravelry or Instagram. I'm Spaknits on both, SPAKNITS. And the hashtags for the mouths to use on Instagram are also listed down below, and I usually put them on the screen. If you don't use either of those, or you don't want to use either of those, you can contact me on email, and again that's down below, spaknitsandcrafts@gmail.com. So yeah, get in touch. I do enjoy it. I've had a few emails in the last couple of weeks and a lot of contact with you, and I like it. You know, I'm enjoying that sort of contact you get with people that you never actually met, for most of you, but getting to know you. You're a lovely bunch. Well, what am I wearing? Oh, yet again, I'm wearing my summer cardi. I've got a grey long sleeve t-shirt on today, so helping the camera not to blow out, rather than wear something, one of my other t-shirts that makes it go. I'm hoping that helps. I won't go into this anymore, but I think it is on my project. It's a very old yarn and it's a pattern that appeared in a knitting magazine. I'm not sure which, but it is on my project page if you want to know. This collar is supposed to be a collar. It's supposed to sit out like that, but it's never done that. And because I only wear it in the house, generally speaking, these days, I've never got round to correcting it. Let me have a look at my list. I have done. I am prepped. Impressive for me. I have sold 11 Christmas bags so far. Thank you so much for your interest. And some of you are glutton for punishment or having a second one off me after buying one the first year I did it last year. Thank you very much. I'll make as many as I have orders for this year. So I'm thinking, I don't know, I've probably got enough fabric to make about 16 of them. So if you are interested, I just need to know before the beginning of October. So another couple of weeks time. And then I did want to start making them, but I've ordered some extra fabric for the linings. And that's come now, so I can get going on them. The Christmas bags, just to recap, are £30 each within the UK, and that includes probably second class tracked postage, and it will have a bag from me, probably sock size style, with that fits about a skein and a half in comfortably, or a skein and a little project, the size I mean. And it'll have 10 by 10 gram minis and 5 by 5 gram minis, all taken from, sometimes I'll split minis into two, or end of projects where I've got some left over, I'll reskein what's left, and also things that have been donated to the podcast, or skeins I've bought that I can't decide what I'm going to make with them, and I'm sort of, my taste has changed, so I'm thinking I'm not going to use it for anything really useful for me anymore. I'll split it into minis. If you're abroad, if you're not in the UK and you want to buy one, and I know there's at least 3 of you that have so far, then I will charge you the difference in postage between the UK postage and wherever you are. But I would ask that, preferably you're happy to pay for the tracked option, because it's taken several weeks to arrive at its destination in the past. A couple of the bags I've had, some of them have been fine, they've only taken a couple of weeks and they've arrived in Australia and America. But more recently there have been a few more problems, and it can take a couple of months, and then it gets worrying. So there we go. Any questions about the Christmas bags, please get in touch with me. I say Christmas, they're not overtly Christmas, there aren't any Santas, more sort of winter themed with a lean towards Christmas, if you know what I mean. Well, I'm not telling you any more about that because I think it's nice to have a surprise of what the fabric will be. Okay, well, when I spoke to you last time, I said to you that I was going to make this, that and the other. Well, I didn't, did I? I was going to do the Baronia cardigan out of the Witchcrafty Lady green, and I was going to do the sparkle cardigan in the orange, I keep calling it crocosmia, which makes much better sense. It's a BFL silk from Eden Cottage Yarns that I'd undone from a previous project that I had for years. Do you remember? Yeah. Well, I changed my mind. I just thought I hadn't plugged my thing in. Let me plug the light in and see if it makes a difference. I'm going to leave the other light. Hopefully we're all right. This is not the Baronia. This is the Blossom Jumper. And I'm saying it loud because, well, part of the Blossom Jumper. I'm saying it loud because now the jumper's between me and you. As you can see, this is a delicious green. You can see the pattern forming on there. I've done the front and the back, and I've joined it as per the pattern with a 3-needle cast off. This has taken me the last couple of weeks to do. I didn't start it straight away, but a couple of days afterwards, because I realised I saw a picture of myself in my Swamp Monster cardigan, and I thought, it's a similar tone of green. Do I really want 2 green cardigans that look that similar? And I decided I didn't. So the yarn is, I've realised afterwards, it's not on every ball band, but it's the it's a Polworth and Cardigan, I assume, from Witchcrafty Lady, Almas. I bought it from her at Wonderwall. It's beautifully soft, not in the same way that merino is. It's but I don't see that people would have any problems. You get a few guard hairs coming out of it occasionally, but it's nice. It's got substance to it, if you know what I mean. And I tried to knit the Blossom Jumper before in the drop soft tweed with the mohair silk, and I didn't think the pattern stood out well enough, so I stopped doing that. But what I've done is I've added an extra size onto this jumper because I wanted it to be bigger, oversized, and then it's a dropped sleeve, and you do short rows at the top instead of casting off several groups of stitches for the shoulder, you do short rows. So that's the armhole, and the idea is on the pattern it looks like the armhole starts a lot lower, but on me, I suppose it might vary from size to size, it's just going to be a drop shoulder. And when it's blocked, this pattern will be shown in its full glory. I've done a rib at the top, right at the top, because I'd added an extra size and that worked. It was all symmetrical and everything. But when I took the stitches, the centre stitches out, a couple more than it said, it is looking a bit baggy at the front at the moment because the back's got rib on it up to the shoulder, but the front hasn't, so it looks a bit baggy here. But I couldn't make it quite symmetrical. I couldn't get my head around it. So in the end, I made the short rows instead of trying to do them in the lace. After a couple of attempts, I decided just to do them in rib, and that's turned out okay. It's not many at all. The pattern is by a longer Vecana, and she's based, I don't know if she's based at Exeter, Devon somewhere anyway. She's got beautiful patterns, beautiful yarns. Her patterns have usually quite often got a bit of lace texture in them, which I like. But I don't know if it's like lost in translation because I think she's French. She'll say knit the lace, and I think it would be better if it said work the lace. And I think it can be a bit confusing when you're saying knit, when you mean, they are all knit stitchy because it's on the right side, but there's a few terminology things which stumped me initially. I soon got over them. It's quite a simply written pattern, but I do know that the European style patterns aren't as instructive as what we're used to in the UK from our traditional patterns, and certainly not as instructive as or detailed as a lot of the indie designers put into their patterns. So by the next time I see you, I might well be wearing it if we have the weather to block it and it's cool enough. It has gone a bit cooler today. So that is the blossom jumper knit in Poledale DK from Witchcrafty Lady in the lime colourway. It's a bit dark for a lime, but I'm not going to argue with the colour name because it's lush either way. The scarf that I was doing last time, the pull drop scarf, I haven't made a lot of progress on. I have made some. I'm getting towards the last but one garter repeat. So I haven't brought that with me because I thought I'd show you next time, when I'm hoping to have finished that as well by next time. But my next, I'm not organised obviously. Oh, sausages. I've left the other one in the other room. I might put some pictures up, we'll see. The other thing I cast on, instead of with the orange crocosmia, that bright orange colour, the very fine yarn that I rescanned, I've cast on the Fleuriste cardigan, which is by Sally Norland, and I will put a photograph up here of that yarn from of the yarn and the pattern. It's very detailed. It's knit from the bottom up, fine, it's very fine, and it's got beautiful patterning on the yoke and on the top of the sleeves. And there's a number of, I don't know how many pages I printed. I wished I'd looked before I set them printing. I could have halved it by doing 2 pattern pages to a page of printing. But I'll get there, and there are written instructions as well as charted if you're interested in that pattern. I'm not too worried that I haven't brought it with me. I don't want to stop this camera unless I have to re-record it, because I'm pointing at the ceiling instead of my face, because the battery might not last too long, and the other one isn't charged up yet. I got sent batteries with them, but they don't appear to be working. So I've had a bit of a technology step to get over today, let's just say that. Well, so yeah, and I've only done the start of the rib. I've done about 3 centimetres of rib. I've nearly finished the rib, so there's not much to see, so I don't mind not telling you. So that's my progress. Hello. You won't know this, but I've just spent the last, I don't know, 5 minutes or so trying to find my incoming to show you, because stupidly I put it in a drawer. So there was a lot of swearing and cussing that I need to cut out, and me dropping things inadvertently on the floor. Anyway, incoming. In this year of no buy, and next year has definitely got to be, I've failed abysmally, much to my pleasure. But oh, I thought that was our resident blackbird robin then. I showed you this beautiful yarn, and a lot of you said how gorgeous it was the other day, and that was the Intertidal from Hannah at the Camels yarn, and this is a mixture of baby alpaca, silk and cashmere, and it's divine. And I've bought so much of it because there's only so many shawls that I'm going to keep making, obviously, but I'd like to wear this. And then I don't know why she said it, but she did. She said on Instagram, oh, by the way, I've got some spares. So I went and ordered these two, and these are the Suri alpaca and silk, I think. Just check this. 74% baby Suri alpaca and 26% mulberry silk, and again it's in the Intertidal. So you've got like a more subtle version, but fluffier. Oh, it's so soft. And obviously these two go together very, very well. I can't make a shawl with this. It's a waste, really. I want to be able to wear it. So I've got the Intertidal, the alpaca, Intertidal fluff, and then I've got the two other colours, if you remember, which are the blank canvas, which is a lovely, it's not grey, it's a lovely, oh, I'm trying to think of it, it's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, it's like a non-creamy cream, and that's called Studio Door, and they look so nice together. So if I'm going to hold them up, they look so nice together that I'm going to hopefully, you come here for professional stuff, don't you? I'm hopefully going to make something rather nice, but I've no idea what. I mean, I could separate that in theory and make a nice shawl out of it, but being a big girl, I always need a minimum meterage, and I'm wondering about something stripy. Maybe, you know, the oh, that's a point actually. You know, the new lacy boxy that Hoagie Locatelli had out, the one with the nice, fairly simple looking zigzag lace, and I think she's put mohair in that, and I think that might actually work for me. Perhaps not put all the lace in, but I could substitute the alpaca, the fluff in between. Are you keeping up? I'm losing myself. I find when it comes to making decisions, it's the hardest, and yet in some ways the most enjoyable part of our craft. I get myself in such a tiz about it some days, though, that I can't think. And I mean, I was exhausted after trying to decide what to do with the green yarn and the orange yarn. And then, after having made that decision and telling you what I was going to do, I suddenly went, click, no, I'm going to do something completely different. But I'm happy with what I'm doing. And I think it's like pushing myself to the limit. It sounds like I'm doing something noble. Such is our craft. And I'm sure most hobbies have that sort of, not breaking point, but that point where you think, actually, you know, Am I doing the right thing? I don't want to waste it. You know, it's not cheap and it's beautiful, or it's been a gift to me. But really, I think as long as you're making something you're going to wear, will you remember all that angst once you've got it on? Does it really matter whether it's one style cardigan or another, as long as it's something you're going to wear? And this discussion will go on in my head forever. And then the other one, the other purchase I had is from Emma at Yarnworthy. Now, Emma is one of my favourite dyers. I've bought a fair bit from her in the last 18 months. I'm signed up to her newsletter, and she sent her subscribers a very generous offer for her one sale a year type of thing. And then on top of that, a very generous, lovely lady sent me a gift voucher for Emma's shop. And so I combined the two and went a bit mad, because effectively I ended up paying half price for this. Now I'm going to put you a photograph. What I've bought is more Suri alpaca, and this is Suri alpaca lace in caramelised. Okay, beautiful. I can wear it. But when I opened the package, it was much brighter than I was expecting, and I was a little bit disappointed, I won't lie, because if I put a photograph up of what's on Emma's website, there are definite sections of brown in there, and it more like a toffee. I mean, it's called caramelised, and I was expecting more brown in there. Now you can see hints of it, and it certainly looks better on a day like today, where I can see a little bit more contrast there, but it's not significant, is it? It's not standout contrast. And because it was, you know, effectively well reduced by the time I applied the discount and my gift voucher, I bought 4, because then I can have a whole garment with the Suri. But when it came, and it was much, I expected it to be more, I say brown, I can't see saying, but you know what I mean, more like a toffee yellow, caramel. And then I started looking at my stash, and I realised that actually I've got hints of yellow and quite sort of dull yellow in some of the skeins that I had from Telling Yarns last year, the Harry Potter series I bought, and that is in British yarn. It doesn't specify which sheep it's from, basically, and I think that's going to look quite nicely with it, because this is only, because it's lace weight, it's only thin, it won't overshadow all the colours in the jumper. And again, it's going to be a jumper probably. So although I was initially a little bit disappointed, now I've got a plan for it, I'm much happier. So what do you think? Hoping this isn't blowing out too much. I will put the photograph of it that I took on outside the other day when it was dull, next to the, if I can get the photograph of Emma's website to show you. So that's my other purchase from Yarnworthy. So that's my incoming, and I do feel slightly guilty, but only slightly. I can only do so much guilt, and I'm all guiltied out for this shouting. This won't be a very long podcast, I'm afraid, because it's late in the day. It's gone 6 o'clock now, and I need to get this up onto my editing software, and it's probably going to go live on Wednesday. Well, you won't know that. You won't even know I'm doing that until you see it. So what have we been doing? I've been, apart from knitting and doing a bit of tidying up in here and rearranging, etc. Let's have a look. Since I last spoke to you, I've been on a tenor evening, We go first Wednesday in the month, and I actually went. Let me just have a slurp of orange. Because I gabble from one section to another, if there's something I need to cut out or looks a bit odd, I can't do it because I don't stop talking. Went to tenner evening. We went to the Cosy Club. I couldn't decide what to have. I had the burger, but no pudding. I had one alcoholic drink because I was driving, and I had a nice time. Yeah, it was good. I'm glad I went. I was tired afterwards. Fell asleep in the chair. It's having to socialise, it does you no good at all when you're not used to it. Not the same just living with somebody, is it? I went to Merry Hill with Elaine. She lives nearby. She lives in Dudley. It was busy because we went on a Saturday, but it was okay. We went to Wetherspoons, sat outside and used the app to order because Elaine is visual. Her eyesight isn't very good. It's better than it used to be. Now she's had an operation to remove a complicated cataract. But she's not very confident with things like their hot drinks machine, although they would have done that if we'd asked them. And carrying things, like drinks from the bar. So we tend to order and it gets delivered to the table. And that's probably, it's a really good thing that Wetherspoons do. Don't know if anybody else does it. Any other brand does it. We had a nice time. We mainly bought things from Asda and Marks and Spencer's food. Oh dear. Say, gone are the days when we used to try things on. Not that there are any shops there that fit us, mind you. Or for the ladies of a certain age. And then I went for an eye test last week. My glasses will be ready next week, so you'll be treated to those. It's been 4 years, 2018, when I had my last eye test. It was, and I think it was only a couple of years before that, in 15, 3 years before that, because we'd only just had Bertie. And we had to leave him for a couple of hours to get the eye test, done. Mum met me in town and helped me choose some glasses, and the pair I put on first were the ones I chose, and then I chose another pair because I was Specsavers. Now, funnily enough, I saw a couple of pairs I liked in Boots, but you can have too much choice sometimes, like with the yarn. So I didn't go and look in Boots, even though it's only the other side of the town centre square. I stuck with the Specsavers, and hopefully one of the pairs look very old-fashioned, and I don't know why, but that appeals to me. He said these are French Connection, and I've only bought Specsavers this time, so I probably saved myself quite a bit of money. But he said they still do these in the same colour, so. But I said no, I don't want the same ones. I was going to do that. I'd keep the frames, wouldn't I? And that's it, really. I haven't done anything else. I am going to Cardigan with Mum and my brother Ian tomorrow. Ian is the older of my two brothers. He's still in his mid-50s. But we're going down to see the Roman remains. I was getting myself in a bit of a tiz about I couldn't find any disabled toilets in the area. But Pip's helped me by telling me, because she doesn't live far from there. Pip of Woolly Cutchies. She's told me that there's a hotel in the town where they do a rather nice lunch menu, and they've got disabled facilities. So I shall be going there. Hopefully tomorrow. If you'd seen me this morning, I wouldn't have been in a fit state to go because I was in a right pain, aching. My hip keeps playing up, and I don't know why, because I don't walk, so there shouldn't be any more wear and tear on it. But I was just going to put up with it. Take the drugs. And there was something else I was going to tell you. I'm going to sit here and think. What was I going to tell you about? Oh yes, I'm going to put a short film in here. I decided to get my advents out from last year. This is what I'm going to finish on now. go back to the crafting. I had 2 advents last year, one from Adventures in Yarncraft and the other one from Family Tree Yarns, and I've ordered 2 again this year, one from Sakami and I'm not sure where the other one's from, so that, unless I look it up, I've got it on my spreadsheet. Anyway, last year's I decided about time I knitted something up, so I laid them all out on the ironing board and I took a short video which I put on Instagram. So I'm going to put that in here, and while I show you, I'll take the narration off, but as you can see, it's quite an interesting mix of colours, because it's not an exact fade. It goes, there's no sort of out and out surprise pops of colour that don't sit with everything else, but it is a nice different mixture of colours in there. I like them all. There's nothing in there that I don't think, you know, oh, I can't wear that. And I'm thinking, I was talking to Trisha, I think, hello Trisha, who's knitting, I hope I've got the right name there. She was knitting a penguin for her grandson. I'm going to check this while I'm talking to you, and if it's different I'm going to edit it out. And I said I've liked the Penguano, you see, by Stephen West, that I would like to do something in that. Well, I looked at the and she said, oh, yeah, I said, why don't we do it together, because she quite fancied doing it as well. And I said, and I looked at the pattern and I thought, it's chunky and that's not going to sit very well on me. So instead I thought, what about the Big Love pattern that I've already got, so I can use 2 strands of 4-ply together to get the worsted weight, like I did with my City Limits jumpers, and then I can got my brain in gear. Then I can yeah, I'll have a nice sort of Marley Big Love that I really like the shape of, and it's got a nice snuggly collar as well. So yeah, so Trisha, I'm probably going to make a Big Love, but if you want to make a Penguano and I'll make a Big Love at the same time, that would be good, wouldn't it? Yeah. And then I've got another advent to get out. I've dragged it out my drawer. It's in a big bag that I made last year. I'm going to put it on the ironing board and I'll do another video of that. And then I'm going to see, because I might need to take some minis out of one and put them together to make the Big Love, because I'll need plenty of yarn, so I need to mix and match my colours. I'm not too bothered about, you know, keeping them together as an advent. So yeah, subscribers, well, we hit the 600, didn't we, after me saying we hadn't done it last time. Yay! And I'm pleased. I'm really pleased. So we're going to have a little giveaway now. I hit the 600. I was very pleased. I went back to 599 for a couple of days, but I've said to you before, I don't think you can rely on those figures to be totally accurate. Right, I've thought of a word. I'm just going to do it really simple, and I want you to put a comment that includes the word knitting in. And if you do, I will pick that one word up and I will enter you into a giveaway. If you are in the UK and you win, because I'll do a random number picker off YouTubey thing, then if you're in the UK, I will make you a small bag. And if you are not in the UK, then I will do you a pattern prize up to the value of $12 US, or whatever your local currency is, roughly that amount, either on Ravelry, PayHip, or whatever. You know, we can sort something out, even if I have to give you a gift voucher. Yeah, buy it from here so you can spend it wherever you are. We'll sort something. So if you want to put a comment in but you don't want to be included, don't use the word knitting, right? Because that's all I'm going to do, is going to pick that up. If you've got the word knitting in it, then I will pick it up and I will do a draw. Okay, right, I'm going to go now because I don't know how long my battery's going to last. I will see you in approximately a fortnight. And one day soon, I keep saying it, but I will talk about colour and I will talk about the area I live in. I'm just so disorganised. Alright, I'm going to see you very soon. I'll let you know how I get on. Hopefully take some photos of the Roman remains I'm going to see tomorrow. But you take care. Drop us a line every which way. But if you want to enter the giveaway for 600 subscribers, it's got to be here on YouTube. Okay? Take care. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Ta-da.